Have you ever felt burnt out, undervalued, like your work doesn't matter? If you ever thought, why am I not growing in my career? I feel like I've reached a dead end. Maybe I'm not good enough to be a community manager. Then this video is for you. I'm going to walk you through 5 things keeping you stuck and why you aren't progressing. And obviously, most importantly, I'm going to walk you through how to overcome those things. So number 1, you're doing everything, but you are going nowhere. So you're doing stuff because it's considered the right thing to do, not because it's actually strategically adding to your community. Stuff because like everyone else does it. But the thing is, it's very rare that one thing that works in one community works in another, like the exact same thing. Communities are full of a lot of different audiences, and you have to really understand your audience in order to get anything to work. So what I recommend is do user research first. And I have talked about this a little bit before. But the best way to do it, the easiest way to do that is just to ask your audience questions. Now, if you're not sure what questions to ask, I do have a free resource in the description, and that breaks down how to go through this process in detail. But the gist of it is, if you are delivering any engagement tactics or anything at all to your audience, and it's not targeted towards what their actual fears and desires are or their goals, then you're basically delivering what you think they want, but we don't always get it right. We actually often get it very wrong. So we need to make sure that we understand them first before we're actually delivering anything. Otherwise, it's just going to feel like you're doing absolutely everything you're supposed to be doing, everything that everyone thinks you should be doing, but actually you're just doing nothing. So number 2, what if you're not the problem? What if the job description is a problem? How are you going to get anywhere if your job description or title or both don't align with what a community manager is meant to be doing? Now, this misalignment can happen from different parties. It could be us. It could also be the employer. And unfortunately, that happens a lot. And what you might see is you are put down as community manager, but you have a lot of different tasks that you wouldn't consider community management. It could be social media. That's a common one. It could be marketing. It could be employee experience. And it could be even building management. I've seen that before. So first, let's clearly define your role as a community manager. Check out this video if you want a really clear, comprehensive breakdown of what it is. The best part of this misalignment is that if this is misaligned with your job description right now, you can actually take the role as being an educator in the way that you will bring extra value to your employer without them anticipating it. So things that they didn't realize could be valuable to them will become clear to them from, you're explaining that, and that will be highly beneficial to them, and it will grow you and put yourself in a position where you can actually grow much faster and much further. If your role doesn't align, that's okay. So first determine where you are positioned. Maybe you're not a community manager. Maybe you realize that maybe it's more positioned towards like social media manager, and that's totally cool. Or maybe it's just a few extra bits that don't align, and we just kind of want to pick those out and just talk to our manager and get those sorted. So to approach your manager, just come up to them with curiosity. Ask questions like, why is your role the way it is? Why are these tasks here? And just understand like what their vision was behind it. Ask genuine questions about why this misalignment might be happening. So discuss that you would like to work on your title or the tasks so that they align best with your career aspirations, but also for the value of the business, and make it clear that these other things you could be working on that align better would be more valuable. To discuss the plan going forward and make sure there's a realistic timeline there. Don't expect it to happen like overnight. So number 3, you don't know how to prove your value. So if you don't show leadership your value, will they pick up on it? Probably not. The best thing you can do for yourself is to take initiative and show that value to leadership, to your manager, and don't wait for them to see it, because chances are they won't pick up on it. So how do we show them? If someone came up to you and said, this month I've got loads of people chatting in the community, compared to the next person who said, over a period of a month, I've increased engagement by 70% in this specific channel, and it has drove sales positively. Maybe even be specific on what that positive is and what that metric is. Like, which one would you not necessarily believe, but which one would you be impressed with? But how do you track this? So in the previous step, we mentioned knowing who our audience is. Also attached to that is really business value. So anything we do for our audience, it should drive some sort of business value. The reason why you are doing this is to help the business, right? So we want to identify what those are first, and then we want to attach a metric to it, and then we want to be able to actually track that. So you need to set up early days a way to track these metrics, whether that's a tool. You can ask other people to set that up for you. You could even ask your manager if they would help setting that up for you, because when you do well, their team does well, and it makes them look good too. So number 4 is you're waiting for someone else to tell you what to do. So I get it, you don't want to overstep, but also you feel like you want to lead and you want to be trusted. So how do we do that? Waiting to be told to do anything slows down your whole life, like no matter what aspect it is. So especially in your career, if you just sit there and wait for people to make the roadmap for you, no one's going to do it and you're just going to stagnate. Yeah, your manager might push you into the right direction. It's really up to you to take hold of your own career, and you don't need to wait for anyone to do that. So identify where you can make a real impact, and I feel we kind of covered that over the last steps. And I do have a great video on that if you want to check that out. Strategize how to get there. Communicate your ideas. Don't do anything like secretively. I don't mean you need to go behind their back and do all of this. I just mean that you take the initiative to come up with the ideas and have those conversations, but also ask the right questions. Waiting will only delay your life. It will delay your promotion. It will delay your career. This doesn't just apply to being in a role right now. If you're trying to find a role too, I have found roles by actively going and seeking out the person who might need that. And that's an example of like not waiting for anyone to tell me what to do. The fact that nobody else really does this gives you a massive advantage because it's so simple. I know confidence is a hard thing to gain. It does take practice, but it is so simple and it's just so effective. Like, honestly, I think it's one of the most effective things you could do for yourself in any aspect of your career, any aspect of your life. And if you want advice on like how to do that or kind of just talk about that, I do have a Discord. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. I'm happy to kind of give you that confidence boost. Obviously, confidence is a hard one to teach, but I'm happy to at least try and listen to you. So we've got to the last one, number 5. You're not building a future, you're just surviving the present. So what happens if you're still in the same place 5 years from now? Obviously, we want a career where we can grow and we don't want a dead end. Everything we've talked about so far mostly applies to the internal role that we will be doing inside of a company. Alongside your role, you want to make sure that you're also communicating that externally. And for reasons that you might not see, like touch wood, this never happens, but it can. You might lose your role, or, things change inside a lot of time. You may have like a colleague that is specifically hard to work with on making your life very enjoyable. And obviously we can do the most we can to be professional and really just do our best work. This happens. You can have managers even that really just not giving you the space to thrive. And sometimes we just gotta cut that off. So literally just communicate externally. It sounds so simple, and again, it's a confidence thing. But if we break down what we're doing, and obviously don't include sensitive information, but if we break down what we're doing into case studies, into small bite-sized posts, like what your personal experiences are, then people from the outside can see it. It will build up over time. You might even get an audience, and that will open so many opportunities for you. The best time to do that is starting now. Literally start tomorrow. Doesn't need to take long. It can only take like even half an hour of your time just to break down like something that you are doing that's valuable and making an impact, or even like an interesting discussion around becoming a little bit of an authority on the platform that you choose. Probably LinkedIn, because that is a kind of professional platform and where other people are viewing you. And it's much easier to start that now because you won't have to remember going backwards all the things you've done, and you can write it from how you were personally experiencing it in the present so that you can see it and remember it and people can see it for the future. If any of those hit close to home, you're not alone. I myself have experienced all of them. I'm happy to say I overcame them, but it was really a struggle at the beginning, and I wish I had someone there to help me through them. That's why I started this channel. So if you are interested in more content like this, I do a video every week. I'm really trying to provide you with the most value possible. And I'm very happy to answer any of your questions. And I do have a Discord in the description if you want that like one-on-one discussion. I'm really happy to do that. And let me know in the comments which one of these 5 has hit you the hardest, or maybe one you're experiencing right now.